Great. Thanks,
Okay,
Phil.
let's go.
Thanks, Wells.
Okay, yeah, everybody, just announce that anybody that doesn't want to be recorded, just switch your camera off, please.
There we go. Just don't all disappear on us.
Now we still have
And so-
79 participants.
Still good, good. And so we don't have a drum roll, but we do have our last guest speaker. So, Sana, where are you?
Oh my.
Yeah.
Well done, Sana.
Hi, Sana.
Sana is speaking tonight because she is our youngest gridder, or griddy as we're calling ourselves. And she has made a great impact. So Sana, off you go. Share your story with us.
Hi, everyone. My name's Sana. For those of you who don't know me, I'm 18 and I'm in my last year of high school. I joined my first grid, I think, in end of March, early April, and it was to manage my mom's account. And so I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was, a cult or something in the beginning when she was talking about it. And then, but she asked me to manage it and I said, okay, I'll do it for you. And then I started, interacting with the people on the grid. And, I was so surprised because it was nothing like I expected. Everyone was so nice and supportive. And I thought to myself, hey, you know what, this is kind of great. So I decided that I was going to invest my own money into it. And so I did, and then I met even more people, and yes, I decided to invest my own money into it, and I met all these other people, and everyone was so genuine and nice, and like they were all like helping each other and just so supportive and stuff. So I was like, this is really nice. So so I invested my own money. I got put into another grid and I met all these other lovely people and I started hearing all these really fun accents and stuff, and it was like, wow, this world is so big. So my long-term dream is to one day be a surgeon. And my short-term dream is to finish this year with, good marks and stuff so that I can move on to the next phase of my life with the feeling of, I can do this, I'm ready for it. And I think the grid is really going to help me do that too, because the plan is to study in America. So it'll be nice to know that I'm not going in there completely empty-handed and have something, I've kind of worked for in a way. So yeah, and the fact that these are all like complete strangers and we're all just giving each other, our money and support, and it's just like, wow, because I don't even know you guys, and it's like, it's amazing, yeah. And so yeah, so far I'd say my experience on the grid has been really, really nice and satisfying, and to be able to connect with all these people from all over the world is just amazing. So thank you.
Well done.
Well
Can
done,
I just say,
Sana.
Sana, that was absolutely amazing. I had the privilege of meeting Sana about, just over a month ago in PE, when I was down there with her mom and dad. And this young lady is not just a brain, a walking brain, she's also a walking heart. She writes the most beautiful poetry. And she's been a sunshine on the grid since the day that she joined. So yeah, I'm really excited about your dream, your future. And if at 18 you can show the world this, then there's no stopping, Sana. So congrats, man. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I also want to say something to Sana. Sana, so you realize we're not real dinosaurs, right?
I was waiting for that one.
Watch it, Vilma.
That's why we put the challenge down to Sana, for everybody to know that Sana said on her dream share last week, when you join the grid, you engage every day on your chat and you have one meeting a week with your fellow grid members to share your dreams and to support each other. And Sana's comment last Saturday was she'd no idea she'd get on so well with old people. That's all of us. So that's why I sent a PM to Sana and I said, okay, girl, come on then, jump on. show us how the 18-year-old rocks it. And of course, she rocked it. And her mum and dad had no idea. Mo and Mumtaz are Sana's lovely parents, so they had no idea she was coming on. And now you know why I couldn't tell you.
Thank you, Suzanne.
And her granddad had no idea that she was coming on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. She's walking in the right footsteps, Doc. There we go. Well done. Good coaching, and thanks for taking her under your wing, Suzanne.
You're
Sana,
welcome.
I'm truly proud of you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Well done, well done.
Absolutely.
So we hope that that we could sit here all night sharing our stories. We hope that the three speakers tonight gave a rounded view, or four speakers, including Karen, a rounded view of why we joined the grid, that we all have similar concerns and fears, and of our experiences. And so the next part of the presentation will present how the grid works for those who are new or learning it, or who are curious. And then at the end of the presentation, we will take a Q&A. So if you have any questions, just sit on them until the end.
Wat jou voorstel aan die grid, trek jou in as dit moet iemand wees wat jy kan vertrou.
Agnes, would you mute
Want
yourself,
jy bou
please?
saam met hierdie groepie mense 'n verhouding wat jy lewenslang mekaar
I have no
ondersteun
idea
en
what-
finansiëel vry te wees.
Agnes,
So wat gebeur? 'n
Agnes.
groepie bestaan uit 15 mense.
send Agnes a message, please.
Elke een kry 'n beurt om 'n receiver te
Right.
Mo,
wees.
can you mute everybody?
I'm trying to mute
So elkeen
everyone.
wat in die groepie
but it
inkom,
doesn't,
betaal 'n
um,
bedrag.
I
vir
think
die-
Agnes has overpowered me.
You did it. Thank you. So guys, look, this is community, and we can see exactly how it works. So thank you. Thanks, Mo. And thank you, Agnes. I'm sure that was really interesting. We'll have to get it translated.
No, that was some reconnaissance. Actually, she was bringing others on board, so it was really a good conversation to follow if everybody understood. But
She's mine. I'm proud of
nevertheless,
her.
yeah,
Oh, go,
let's-
Tasha.
Well
So
done.
we're going to go into the presentation now, and if anybody has any questions, please keep them until the end, or alternatively, you can put them in the chat, and Wills and Mo are going to keep an eye on the chat, and we'll get back to you. Okay,
Sure.
so Mo, do you want to share the screen, please?
will do. Let me know when you see it.
That's great.
You're on.
Okay,
You're on.
good.
Good. So we go to the next slide, please. And this presentation was developed by Mo. He's constantly tweaking it, and we're trying to keep up. So we're going to explain exactly how the prosperity grid works. And the first slide here, you can see this is an image of the grid. So when you join a grid, it looks exactly like this. In flight, the ATC people in the grid just cannot help but put flights and airplanes and everything else all over their chats. So in flight, this is in honor of you, Wills, I think. You can see on the outside in the pink, you have your first spaces. These are the contributors. So when you join, you move into where you can see Sana or Carl or Jana spots, and you start to move through the grid. So if we go on to the next, actually, I can't hold on till I move my.
Yeah, I think, Suzanne, we explained already.
Yeah, I
that
can
this
see it
is not
here.
a-
Yeah.
Sorry, we explained
it's-
this is
yeah.
not a scam or a Ponzi or anything like
Ponzi.
that. Yeah,
And it's not a pyramid or a Ponzi. We can explain it again, but a pyramid, there's a lot of toxic publicity around pyramid schemes, and quite rightly too. Pyramid schemes are fraudulent, they're unethical and immoral, and they've no place in a community of members who value each other. Pyramids bring people in, the people at the top reap the rewards, and the people at the bottom are often left with a great loss. This is not a pyramid, and as Karen showed the difference between a triangle and a circle. This is a community circular savings, rotational savings membership. And what happens is, as you move in, every single person in the contributor position gives $500 to the person in the center of the grid, the receiver. We'll explain this further, but it's not a pyramid scheme because two chief reasons. First of all, you have a money back guarantee. If you join within 10 days as a contributor and you change your mind, or perhaps something happens, or you don't have the time to engage, you will receive your money back from your receiver. If you want to leave at any other time as the grid moves, you will receive your $500 back when the person who took over your space enters the receiver position.
Okay,
Also, a lot of receivers have also guaranteed their contributors their money back should anything go wrong in the interim. So it's pretty much a win-win situation. It's not a cult, as Sana said, and it's not a corporation. There is no central banking. There is no centralized, there's no one person holding the money. This is a community. You pay to your receiver and you always pay to the same gift to your receiver, and your contributors will always gift to you.
Okay, so sorry.
Do you want to add anything, Mo?
No, not really. I think we just got the pop-up that says 10 minutes left. So we have a restriction in terms of the time limit with Zoom. 40 minutes is the max, but what happens is if for any reason we cut off, we will rejoin. So I'm going to restart when we get to the limit. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. There was a few notes there, and it did say that this grid is not for cynics or skeptics. And the reason we say that is because we're not trying to sell anything. Once you're in the prosperity grid, you'll understand it more if you join. But it really is a community of uplifting, positive support. We anticipate it will eventually have a waiting list of people queuing up to join. So you don't need to sell it. And we did have some skeptics join, and they've become the greatest advocates and the most dynamic members. So there's room for everybody if you're willing to trust. Can we go to the next slide, Mo?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry, here we go.
There we go. The values displayed on the grids. As you can see from our speakers, this is a value-based community. Yes, it brings in abundance, and where else would you receive 8 times your input, $500, and within 40 to 60 days, 4,000. However, it is underpinned by values, and the 5 agreements are: respect your fellow members, be impeccable with your word, don't make assumptions. For example, we never know what another person is experiencing on a day. It's also an international global community. And so there's a lot of different cultures, and we need to, give people the benefit of the doubt and respect them. Don't take things personally. There's no point. And give the very best of yourself. And giving the best of yourself, we don't mean go down the mines. It's not hard work. Engage, send a nice text, acknowledge people when they ask how you are, and show up for your weekly Zoom session. That's all you have to do. Keep it light and positive, encourage one another, share your grids when you succeed so we can all cheer you on and support one another's journeys. We stay clear of politics, religion, sex, and COVID, only because we want people to have a space where they feel they can be together and not a divisive conversation or not a divisive space. Thanks, Mo. So how does it work? How does it work? It can look quite complex in the beginning, but it actually isn't. If you look at this symbol of the grids, and you can see the symbol there that says you, that's you when you join in your grid. That's you on the outside as a gifter. You join, you gift your $500 to your receiver who's in blue on the inner circle there on the inside of the grid. There's 15 spaces, and as you move, you'll move through them. The outer ring is the gifters. You can see over on the writing on the right here that the person that invites you, what they do is they add you to the Telegram chat. You download it onto your smartphone. This obviously does require a smartphone and Wi-Fi or data. So you're added to a Telegram group. You share your dream, maybe you share your photo. What's required is that you show up every day. You meet and interact with your fellow griddies. You get your welcome messages and you support each other. You're then invited within a week to a dream sharing session where you share your dream. We also have these informal or formal information sharing sessions. They're not always as large as this. They could just be 2 or 3 grids coming together to support each other. And You're brought in. If you see the yellow circle there, that says M, that's the motivator position. We're going to move to that now, but the person who invited you in is generally in the motivator position. Thanks, Mo. So you move in, the motivator brings in 2 people, and the motivator only ever brings in 2 people. Will we go to the next slide, Mo? This is a journey from gifter to receiver on the prosperity grid. There's 8 gifters. The 8 gifters gift $500 to the receiver. The motivator is in yellow, and the motivator brings in 2 gifters, invites 2 gifters from all the people they know. The supporter in the green, there's 2 supporters in each grid, and the supporters assist the motivators to share the grid and assist the receiver to manage the grid. And the receiver in the center receives the 4,000, the 8 by 500 from the gifters who join into the grid. So that's how the grid is built. You can see here, we use a few terms that can be quite confusing. We use terms such as spin, which can cause a little bit of confusion, and receiving. Now, spinning means when your grid, 12 to 15 days, spinning means that you move from one position to another. So when we say spin, it means that you have completed your grid of 15 people and your grid will break. Your grid will split. And you can see on the diagram here how it's split. The receiver goes back to their original first grid, and the 2 supporters then move into receiver position in 2 new grids. So you can see how the U that Mo is highlighting here, the U in the outer circle in the gifter position moves into the you move into the motivator position. And that's how you move through the grid. All 4 positions, you move from one to the next as you progress. It can take about 12 to 15 days to spin, and spin means for you to progress from one stage to the next. So altogether, we anticipate approximately 40 to 60 days from when you join the grid until you receive. And as Dr. Femi said, 15 days, and he started 4 days ago. So for him, it was 50 days or so before he started receiving. So on the 4th spin, you move into receiver position. This is where you support your motivators to bring in and invite 8 people. You collect your $500 from your 8 gifters and you receive $4,000. We don't know of any banking system, maybe crypto or Bitcoin, that you receive such good returns. My screen is freezing. Sorry, Mo. So once you've entered the receiver position, what happens then is we call it reweaving. And this can also cause a little bit of trouble with the term. The reweaving means that you've built your grid, you've received your monies, and then you move back into your initial position, your first position as gifter. So you start your journey as a gifter. What's your role in each position?
Is it coming up on your screen, Suzanne?
It's coming up. It's just because of the chats and the thing. Yeah, but I'm sure everybody else can see it. Yeah, so I can see it now. So as a gifter, you're responsible for paying forward your $500 to your receiver. That's all your role is. You pay forward your $500 and you get to understand the grid. You get to know what to do, what's expected of you. There's not an awful lot of, you don't have to attend a lot of dream calls. It's 1 a week. Anything else, Mo? My screen
I think that's good. Yeah. So
when you move forward, into the motivator position. This is where you invite 2 people. And many people who join say, I don't know 2 people. Mo said it last week on a call we had. Everybody on the planet knows 2 people. We all know 2 people. When you've started in any new venture, it can be sometimes difficult to explain it. And I know when I started it.
Yeah, there we go.
Now they are. Okay. So where were we? Sorry, I keep moving my camera around. When you bring in 2 people as the motivator, this is you here, the yellow. When you bring in 2 people, you only ever bring in 2 people. You don't bring in 2 people every 40 days. It's 2 people and that's it. You have 2 invitations, 2 spots to fill behind you. And there's a whole grid there to support you sharing the invitation. There's also the wider community. We have these information Zoom sessions. If you don't know how to share it, you can PM somebody whom you think could help you to share it. So you bring in your 2 people. Thank you, Margaret. You bring in your 2 people and then you move on to the supporter position after motivator once the grid splits again. So we said split or spin, and those 2 terms mean that once the grid is full, the receiver moves back to their first grid and the 2 supporters in green move into 2 new grids. Is there another, the supporter roles and responsibilities, please, Mo? So in your role as supporter, you're responsible for supporting your receiver and the community in your grid. You've also brought in your 2 people. You've brought in your 2 people and you've learned how to share it. So you can really support the motivators on your grid and you can take the pressure off them and you can say, hey, look, we've all been there, because you're going to get rejected. You know, there are people who will say, oh no, that's crazy. That will never work. You'll never receive. You're going to lose your money. None of us have lost our money. I received last week. Wills has received. Karen received last week. Dr. Femi is receiving now. So as supporter, there's a lot you can do to pass on your wisdom, pass on what you've learned. And then you move into the receiver position. And that's where the money rolls in.
Suzanne, I'm just going to interrupt you. Sorry, just Mo, if you can just keep an eye on people that's still trying to get in, please, and let them into the room. I see Gail is struggling.
Oh, poor Gail. And so once you receive, that's you done. You have created your grid. Once you have created your grid, that's it. You don't have to create another grid. You've done it. You have your 8 contributors. They give you your money. Then you return to your first grid, to where you started. You take your $4,000 and you take $500 from that 4,000 and you return to your first grid and gift that $500 to your first receiver. That's called reweaving. People get quite stuck on the concept. Reweaving means that you move, that you complete your grid, you've built it, and you go back to the beginning again, and you keep moving in the same grid with the same people through the same cycle. And that's how we begin to form such good relationships and get to know each other so well. You're not going to be traveling with different people or moving with different people. It's the same people all of the time. And as you can see, we have the Prosperity Grid, www.prosperitygrid.com. I think the registration for the Prosperity Grid, you register on the website as soon as you paid your fee, your gift to your receiver. You register on the website, and there's a lot of information there that explains the processes that we're talking about tonight. This is, I think this is our most recent update, but it's from about 2 weeks ago, is it, Mo? I think it's April's update. 189 members, 25 receivers, and that generated over 1.5 million rand.
22nd of April, Suzanne.
Okay, so we'll have the new update hopefully for next week, but we're quite sure that it's a lot larger at this stage.
Absolutely.
That's 25 people receiving $4,000 after investing $500. And the only time you take the $500 from your own bank account, from your own monies, is that very first time you contribute to your receiver. That very first time. After that, you're taking your $500 gift from the 4,000 that you receive to put it back in to reweave. If you choose to leave, you can always leave. That's why it's not a pyramid scheme. You can stay for 40 to 60 days. You receive $4,000. You can leave then if you like. You can take your $4,000 and you can go. But why would you? Why would you leave when you've created your grid you've met everybody, and you can go through the whole process again and receive another $4,000 in 40 to 60 days.
Okay, that's the end of the presentation, Suzanne. We're at the question and answer session right now. I saw some hands go up. Philippe's hands had gone up. So Philippe had a question. If you can unmute yourself and ask your question, please, Philippe.
Do you want to take off the screen share, Mo?
Yes.
No, my apologies. I didn't quite know what I was doing because it's the first time I've actually attended a Zoom meeting of such a big group. And I was trying to get a message for Gail who couldn't get in. So please excuse my hand going up. Sorry,
Thanks, Philip.
Yeah.
Thanks, Philip. I'm in now. Thank you.
Okay, good.
There you go.
Hi,
Okay.
Gail.
Good, Gail.
Hello, Gail.
Hi there, is it Dr. Femi?
Yep,
How's it? How are you doing?
I'm good.
Good, good.
Wills,
Okay.
did you come across any questions there?
No, there's no questions, except there was one earlier on and I had to log out, but there was something about when do you add, what is the time limit or the time period that you have to add your first gifters when you have been entered into the grid?
Well, when you join a grid, it depends on which, you join your grid as a contributor. Your grid will spin, as we said, within 10 to 14 days, 10 to 15 days, and you'll move into the position of motivator. When you enter the position of motivator, then you will have 10 to 14 or 15 days to invite your 2 people in with the support of everybody on your grid. You're not on your own in it. And people aren't left on their own and abandoned to go out onto the street and find 2 people. You're working with your people, with the people who know you and trust you. And I saw a question, it just came in there about sharing, supporting other grids to invite people and to explain the prosperity grid. There's lots of people who are willing to do that. So you're never on your own. And as I said, we will be having, in the next week or so, we'll have sharing sessions on how best to share it without trying to sell it. Does that make sense, Wills?
Yeah, yes, thank you very much, Suzanne. The next question that you just addressed now is from Ina Marie Bredenkamp. She says she's in Dubai and she wants somebody to explain it to somebody in Durbanville. Ina Marie, I'm also in Dubai, but South African. And anytime the person that actually invited you to the Zoom meeting can assist you, but you can also get in contact with me or Marina, who is the admin of this group, and we can phone them anytime, organize a Zoom meeting to chat to them anytime. We are to support each other.
Great. There was a question there. How do you get refunded if the receiver has left the grid? You know, people rarely leave. We've had 1 or 2 people who, for personal reasons, had to move out, and they replaced themselves with a friend, or we supported them to be replaced. And they received their monies back when the person that replaced them receives. So when the person who replaced them receives their money, they will gift them back that $500. Does that answer the question? Either.
Yeah, I think the question is if the receiver leaves. If the receiver leaves, it's, you know what, this is a community of trust, and I don't think after you've met each other in person like we're doing tonight that any receiver would just leave.
Yeah.
It's just, I cannot imagine that, and I don't know even how to answer that. I don't think humans were meant to. Yeah.
It's a very valid, it's a question that we've learned in society, that if I give you my money, are you just going to walk out the door and I won't see you again? Yeah. And this is unfortunately very valid because we've all experienced it. But this is not how the community works. And the receiver is in that position because they have gone through 4 levels, 4 cycles in their grid. They have built their relationships. They've worked with people, they've met everybody. I don't know any receiver who's taken the money and run for the hills, because what's happened is the receiver has built the grid. So it's actually crazy if you think about it, because they've spent 40 to 60 days to build a grid to receive $4,000. All they have to do then is go back and do it all again for another $4,000. Why would they leave?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Suzanne.
and another thing just to
couple
add
of-
on to this is a community where we actually, this is an unconditional gift. For me personally, when I gift it, I don't care where my money goes. I do, but actually I let it go. So if anybody takes my gift and does whatever with it, it's none of my concern. So if that person wants to be whatever he wants to be, happy days to him.
Yeah. And
Yeah, but,
also for a receiver to leave, the receiver has already built their grid. So I can actually say right now, if there's a receiver who receives and wants to leave, I'll take their grid. I'll jump in immediately. Thanks very much. Because
I'll
it's all
jump
done.
in too.
And all- yeah.
You'll have to fight me for it, Suzanne.
Yeah.
Mumtaz, because the work is done. It's done. All you have to do is sit back and say hello, good morning, good afternoon, good night, and here's $4,000 in 40 days. Why would you leave? You know, so it would be a declaration of insanity, and it hasn't happened yet. And Will's touched on a point there. When I joined, myself and Mary joined, and we joined with our friend Candace, and we both said, "Oh, sure, you know what? Let's just see what happens. We'll put in our $500." And I can tell you, I've lost $500 in many ways over the years in much more foolish escapades than a lovely community group with a wonderful moral ethos and solid foundation. So it is a matter of trust. You do have to lean in and trust it. Mo, you were going to say there something.
Yeah, I was going to say, look, it depends really, because at what stage in the game does the receiver actually leave?
You'll have to lean into the mic.
The mic.
Sorry, can't you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it depends really on what stage in the game the receiver actually leaves. If the receiver leaves at the point in time where they become the receiver, well, what are they walking away with? Nothing really, except their own 500. That's foolish. I don't think anyone would want to do that. Now, if it's halfway through, having received, let's say, 4 out of the 8 gifters' monies, and they're walking away with $2,000, that also is ridiculous, because at the end of the day, you know, they're just throwing another 2,000 under the bus. So it just really depends on which point in time they leave. And if they leave after they've received all their gifters' contributions, well, that's the right time to leave if they don't want to come back for whatever reason. But I don't think anyone who's traveled through this journey with such wonderful people, day in and day out, looking forward to the interactions, looking forward to the posts, looking to, you know, for the support that they've been given. I don't think anyone would want to walk away at that late stage in the game. You're talking about, you know, 40 to 60 days. You're part of the community. You're part of your grid family. And it must be for a really unusual reason that you'd want to walk away. But obviously there are means and ways of, you know, recovering your money. So we said money guarantee.
Yeah, and Mo, Sana had an interpretation of that question that was slightly different. Was it Sana or Sante? Who was it? Sana, you're on mute. Was it you?
Sana, you're on mute.
Go on.
I said, what if they mean, so say I come in as a gifter now, and I give in my money to the receiver, and all other gifters come in, and then it spins and the receiver goes. Now I'm in the motivated position and I want to leave. So who gives the money back then?
We had I had that happen in my grid last week, and another grid is experiencing at the moment, and that's okay. We're a community. You're not signing your life away and giving your organs. You know, we have to be able to come and go if we please, and things change in life. So on my grid, the motivator had to step back. And instead, I spoke to somebody who was interested in joining, and it's a wonderful opportunity to jump ahead. So the person who joined skipped the contributor position, went straight into motivator position, and within 5 days was in supporter. And now next week they'll be receiving, and they'll do it all in 14 days. So
yeah, and you pay back that person.
Yeah. And as I said,
you know what, guys, I think this is enough of it. Honestly, we're wasting time here. Can we move on to the next question?
We are wasting time on that topic, but can I just add one thing to that, Wilna? It is such a sense of community that we don't want to lose credibility. So there are so many people that are willing to just jump in and refund your money if you want to leave. So you know what? You don't have to worry about this. You know, anyone Any one of us
Yeah.
here will stand up and vouch for it. Here's your money. That's fine. If you're not happy, leave. You can come back and join us when you're ready.
Yeah.
And there we
Dr.
go.
Femi said the same last week, and we said on 2 grids that we are on, we guaranteed a couple of very nervous contributors their $500 back. We said, here, you can have it back. 2 of them texted us and they said, what if the whole thing collapses and you're gone with my money? And we said, if it collapses, we will give it to you from our pockets. Here's your $500. And within 4 days, both of those people PM'd us and said, we understand the community now. It's okay, we get it. We all have to lean in and trust it together. And Wills, there's a few tax questions, but the tax questions are really relevant for the country you're in. For an Irish perspective, we have a small document that we share with Irish people who join. South African, I don't know. Wills?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you know what?
The
The tax thing is there's a certain amount. I think it's 120,000 rand that is tax free because of the laws. It's a gift, so it's tax free. But after that, you know what, guys? This is like your own small business. You're earning 60,000 rand in 40 days. It's your own small business. I'm sure there's ways to sort out, even if you need to pay the tax. It's if you feel that way. But on a different note, there's ways to avoid this by maybe, for instance, sending somebody an ebook. So you've sold them an ebook for $500. Nobody can argue the point. So there's many ways and means. I'm not an expert in tax or anything or the laws, but I'm sure there's many people on this grid that knows how to do whatever you need to do regarding tax.
There's a huge amount of talent on the grid and a huge level of professionalism. And we have a grid chat room, and people are always offering their services and they're always available to provide support.
Mm-hmm. I don't think there's any other questions that I can see. I think one thing that is quite significant and really profound.
No, I don't know if somebody wants to add something here, group that wants to add text, it's a big issue or something. Speak up, please.
I didn't hear any of that, Wills.
Yeah, you're breaking up there. Well, no, I think
you're breaking up.
You're going into the Star Wars zone.
Maybe put it in the chat.
A small business, and guys, I think it's 1,000 rand. It's like just earning a salary. So whatever tax implications there are, we need to sort it out. Luckily in Dubai we don't have that. Mohammed, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
You know, on the tax thing, if I may add, okay, tax implications or not, even if they take 40% of, say, 500,000 rands that you're going to make, you're still making you're still making money. You're not in the red. I mean, that's something you just have to deal with. If you get a salary, you're going to pay tax. If you, you know, at least 100,000 of this is, you don't have to pay tax on.
Yeah.
So if you have to pay tax on the other 100,000, well, you know what, it is what it is. But again, there are many means and ways of getting around it.
Yeah, I think one easy
speak to your accountant.
After you've made your money, spend 5,000 rand to hire a tax consultant and to get all your questions answered. The thing is that
Dr. Femi was jumping in, though, I think.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, it's called creative accounting.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
You can always find out where to put the money that actually relieves you of the tax burden, if you want to.
Exactly.
You sell a book, you get a gift, you get whatever. There are always in every different country, there are different tax implications for what you get. And I think where I am in the UK, I think you get the first 1,000 free in sterling, and then you choose whether or not to declare the rest of it as part of your income or as part of a tax deductible gift. There are creative accounting systems that you can use everywhere. And there are people on the grid who are absolutely marvelous at doing creative accounting. Just reach out to them.
Yeah, exactly what I was going to say. But I think Noreen has just pointed out that as far as tax goes, guys, the question's answered. So if you look in the chat, you'll probably find someone had made a comment that they've consulted, Tracy, consulted with FNB last week. So just check the chat and we'll get that done. But there's another question.
Gail, can I take Gail's question?
Yeah, please do it.
Okay. Gail, don't worry about the two people. Are you happy being on the grid? Are you happy?
I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it, mums. I'm loving it.
Okay, so then that answers your question, Gail. You don't have to ask people to join. You just have to speak about what this experience has done for you, and everybody is going to come dance with you. That's it.
Okay. All right.
Don't even try and bring them in, because if the person doesn't want to dance with you while you're dancing, then they're not welcome.
Yes, absolutely.
I agree with you, 100%. But honestly, guys, to be on a more serious note, if you're really struggling to get in your two people, there's always an option to move a position back. So you've got, like, instead of the 20 days, you've got 40 days just to move back in the grid.
And we had one of our people on our grid last week did that, Wills. They didn't have the time to share it.
Yeah, you need time because you've got a personal life as well. You've got a first-hand job. So some people do find it more difficult to get people in.
And it's not a race.
But we support each other. Yeah, it's not a race. You're right, Suzanne.
That help you out. There's always, I mean, you know, the sense of community is so strong. It's not necessary that it's only a motivator that's trying to complete the grid. The supporter is trying to help you. The receiver is trying to help you. So don't even stress about it. It will happen.
Yeah.
You just enjoy the dance.
How does reweaving work? The reweaving is probably the question that people get most stuck on. And some things in life, I think the penny drops as you go through the process. Yeah. But the reweaving is literally that you go through the grid, you enter as a contributor, you become a motivator, you bring in your two people with support. You become a supporter and support your receiver. Then you become a receiver and you get your money. And then you make your decision. Am I going to leave or am I going to stay? So 100% of people stay. So you stay and then you go back into your first position as a contributor. That's called reweaving. So in the first four cycles, you're weaving your grid. Once your grid is built, you reweave back into your first position and you do the cycle all over again with the very same people. You do not bring in any more people and you do not need to take any more money out of your bank account. It's just the initial $500. So maybe that answers it. So we stay in the same group. Yes, you stay in the same group. There's no need. Why would you leave your group? You know, there is a bit of a misunderstanding about staying in your grid. You stay in your grid because you have made your friends. They're your community. They're your people. They're the people you lean on. And then you may have joint Zooms with other grids where you'll share the information and where you'll get to know more people. When you receive, you do have the option then of joining more grids. You can join up to 4 grids if you like and do the maths.
Suzanne, read the second part of the sentence. It says it wants to join yours.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
Well, you didn't want to see that.
Deslan, good job there. I like that.
I think that I know that we're coming to the end of the session, and we did, myself, Mo and Wills wanted to share 2 things with everybody before we finish. Firstly, we did say this is the last large Zoom we're hosting, because what's going to happen from now on is receivers will have smaller Zooms and they'll pair up with other grid receivers in the chat room. There's 2 things that we've identified to support the community. One is receiver and supporter sessions. And we're going to start hosting receiver and supporter support sessions, if that's the right term, to help people understand receiving and supporting and how they can manage their grids. And that could involve co-hosting on Zooms. or co-hosting on Dream Shares. Not everybody is a chatterbox. Some people are quieter and they need to have a chatterbox with them maybe. We're also going to develop materials for sharing the grid and have smaller sessions to support people. So that will hopefully strengthen the community. It is a community. You can see from tonight, we're just having a go, as they say, and doing our best. Mo, Wills?
Yeah, thank you very much, Suzanne. Thanks for opening this up to everybody in this community. Well, we all here for each other.
Yeah.
I want Bat to have a few words, but he's left now. We've got 7 minutes left, you guys. Thank you all for attending. So, but I'm just going to choose my superstar again. Jason, if you want to say a few words, please.
I think he's gone.
No, Jay
I'm here. I'm here.
Jay is always there. He's my wingman.
I'm always here. I'm always here. I'm preparing a dessert here, so I'm kind of tangled up here. But anyway, I'm not stepping into the money part because I think it was explained very well. I just want to state, I would just want to tell the guys and the girls who just joined. Look, I have the same feeling as you guys. I'm over the ocean. I'm in Panama City right now. Time, I think, is 9 hours time zone behind. And I didn't understand much of the first meeting. I didn't understand anything. I trusted the one who invited me. That was Wills, that was Belna. I trusted her. I jumped in and I was so pleased to have so many people to help me. So I say to these people that just got in, just jump, get in, and I'm sure you will not regret, because in your grid, you will have so many people that will be able to help you right up to the receiver position. I passed the receiver already. I'm again into it because I don't see how they will let me leave, and I will not leave neither. So I'm very happy to be here. Thank you very much, all.
And I always know when our time zones have matched with Panama because the phone starts hopping. Jason's on the grid.
Well,
and Jason hasn't left in spite of everybody saying that, oh, we all coming to your place to visit you. So even that hasn't scared him off.
Could I say one little word before we run away?
Yes, Dr. Femi.
It is the one thing that I have found, and it is that you need to engage. It is in being a part of the community that you begin to understand the dynamics of how the community works. If you're not there for them, how can they be there for you? If they don't know you, how can they work with you? So I believe that the most vital thing to do once you join a grid is to become a part of the family. And I have found out that that has been amazing. Seeing different people in different environments, in different circumstances, and being able to talk to them as if they were my next door neighbors has been the biggest gift I have received from joining the grid.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Dr. Femi.
All right.
Thank you, Doc.
Okay,
Thank you, Jason.
Thank you.
Jason, I'm chasing you.
Yeah, guys, if I can just say, this is just it's a new mindset thing. We've all been brought up in an old mindset type of thing. You have to work your backside off forever, but it's not like that. We can all live in abundance and just step out of a place of lack. It's not on.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Wills.
I think Suzanne said something really profound the other day, if we think about it very carefully. And she keeps mentioning this with regards to this community that we have out here. This is a concept of the future. People are sick and tired of other communities out there that have really, burned us in many different ways. And people are looking for an alternative. They're looking for honesty, trust, companionship, empathy, sympathy, assistance, so many other things, so many values that this grid brings to this particular community, and other people out there will soon realize this. And it is a concept of the future. The old ways of working are not sustainable, and this is going to be, you're going to see many of these crop up soon across the wires. So we're in a very strong position, in a good position, and I think we have a wonderful bunch of people. This is the way to go, guys. Appreciate it, make the most of it, and yeah, keep your grids moving.
Yeah.
That's it from my side, Suzanne. I think we're done.
Yes, I think that's a wrap, folks. So have a lovely evening, and
Dr.
bring your
Karim.
Night, Jason.
Kisses, Dr. Karim.
Hello, my friend Jason.
Bye, Sana, my sister Sana.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Guys, eh?
Have a
Well
good
done,
one.
Suzanne.
Take
That
care.
was good.
Bye, everybody.
Well
Dr.
done,
Femi.
Susan.
Night, night.
Thanks, guys. It was lovely.
Hi,
Thank you.
Theo.
Bye, folks.
Hi, Theo.
Bye.
Hi,
Bye.
Tracy.
Good job, Susan and Mohammed. Terrific, terrific.
Well done.
Jason,
Thanks,
stop talking.
thanks, Jason.
You know I can't stop talking.
Oh.
Exactly, that's what I'm telling you to stop.
Well
Have a
done,
great
Sana.
evening,
Well
everybody.
Well
done.
done, Sana.
Sana, you were fabulous.
Well done, baby. Done well.
Here we go. Thanks, Doc. Thanks, Gordon, everyone.
Thanks,
Good
Mo.
night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Doctor.
Mo.
Good night.
Bye.
Cheers,
Bye.
girls.
Cheers, guys.
Good
Bye,
night.
Valno.
Good night.